Hi there, my name is Carlin Shaw, and I want to thank you for the opportunity to share a little bit of my story with you. So while I was preparing the bio and what I was going to say, I immediately wanted to lead with, I'm an inspirational speaker. And then it had me thinking, like, what does that even mean? And what does it mean to inspire? And when I think of inspiring, that act of it, it's when somebody can hear your story and think to themselves, oh my gosh, I can't believe she did that, or I can't believe it turned out that way, because they've never been in that story, and so they don't know how they would respond to it. However, the reality is these stories are going to constantly show up in people's lives, so it's important that people hear stories of other people that have overcome and who have thrived, because they might actually choose to do it the same way. They just haven't given themselves permission yet, because they haven't been faced with it yet. People are stronger than they think they are. I was diagnosed with MS when I was 19 years old. I'm 40 years old now. Within 10 months of my MS diagnosis, and I had full-blown symptoms. Within 10 months of my diagnosis, both of my best friends were killed in tragic car accidents separately. So before I knew it, my story, being from a small town, being diagnosed with something that no one else my age had, there was no Google, there was no way to find out any information, was a story that I was sharing without knowing I wasn't supposed to share it, because people were asking me to share it. And from the start, I have been a storyteller. And the more I've shared my stories, the more I've given permission to others to not feel shame and to share their stories. So I began to realize how powerful it was that I was sharing my stories, because people were starting to almost mirror and reflect off of what I was giving them. And the more life threw my way, which is a very kind way to put it, because it's been a crazy journey that the universe has given me, the more stories I have to offer and the more things I have to teach, this power of perspective. So the things that I want to offer anyone in your audience is, first of all, we're not invincible and life happens, but it doesn't happen to us, it happens for us. So life is going to always present itself, but it's a matter of these choices, and they're big choices that we have on how to associate meaning to what has presented itself. And this can be in the form of a person, a situation. It's how we identify that story and how we let it identify ourselves. And then so this goes back into intuition and into manifestation as well, because our bodies give us signs on ways to go, like the fear, the anxiety. These are all tools that we can use to then make the decisions in our lives that are going to be creating these stories that we are essentially co-creating our life. And the manifestation, we all know, is just from here and here, and it's not way out here. It's not just for spiritual gurus. It's for everybody. If I'm the girl next door and I can create a life like this, then anybody in your audience can create this life too, but they have to believe that it's possible, and they need to see it from somebody that they can relate with. And another big part that I want to teach is I've healed myself from MS. I'm 20 years into my journey. I've been med-free for 8 years. I ran the Boston and the New York Marathon in 2015, and this was a journey of self-love. So when I tell people how I healed myself, I have to just humbly say I had to heal myself. And people will relate with that, because there's a lot that we avoid. There's the sabotage, and there's the shame that we have associated with our stories. And if we can rid the shame and just accept and let go and move on and use it as a stepping stone, this is where the true healing comes in. And this is something that anyone can have access to. So just to share with you how much I love this idea of story sharing, I actually created a community called Strangers to Friends, and I facilitate events that I get people to come together, and I call it Lead With You, Not What Do You Do? And we have name tags that have answers to open-ended questions, and I create this safe space for adults to share their stories, because it's our stories that actually connect us all. And as adults, we're not always given permission. We have to oftentimes talk about what we do. So this is truly a passion of mine, that it's something that I'm really, my goal in life is to just give back and help as many people as I can, and make this world a better place, because the more we love ourselves, the more love there is to go around, and we all know that love is what heals. And I would be so honored to share myself a little more with you and your audience, to just add a little more love to the world. So thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.